Welcome back to Pilates at Chakras Tarot. We are on to birth number 2, and this will be a reading for the month of April for those of you who are born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, and 29th of any month. And what makes your birth number more fortunate is when the numbers that fall in your category, the birth number that falls in the category of number 2, when those numbers appear on a Sunday, a moon day, and a Friday. Okay, so birth number 2, this is the reading for you, and I'm starting out with their energetic chakra temperature here, so we can see where we are as it relates to the chakras and what it is that you need to focus on, what chakras you need to focus on for the month of April. All right, and it gives you just some insight too, just overall insight on your energy, and if it resonates with you, just see how it goes, see what the resonance is for you. But it will be coming through, and perhaps it may not be immediate, but throughout the month at some point in time, it may be a light bulb moment for you to focus on these chakras, contingent upon the attributes as well of each individual chakra. As we know, each individual chakra has its own characteristic. We have the lower and we have the higher chakra. So Spirit, please do give us the energy read for those who are born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, and the 29th of any month. And these are the individuals that have imagination, they have innovation, they're very creative when it comes to their character traits, their aptitude, their abilities. These are the individuals that hold these fine characteristics. All right, so let's just go ahead and cut the deck and take the card that's off the deck, and then we might probably pull a few more. First card out is your solar plexus, personal power. All right, so time to hone in on your own strength. You do have the strength, as a matter of fact. This is what Spirit is telling me. You can see this hand or this fist here. You want to do things with all of your might. You want to give it your all, that extra effort. You want to exert yourself. And part of finding that empowerment or that strength within, that inherent power, is to strengthen and nurture your solar plexus, which is a chakra that is 3 inches above the navel and 3 inches in. So underneath the diaphragm, and right there at the top of the core. All right, so just some, if you're in your meditations, you may want to pull that energy into your solar plexus. All right, and really fortify that energy. Spend some time in the solar plexus in your meditation. All right, the attributes of this is more of not only strength, but self-confidence, self-empowerment. And you could just put self in front of any word or any descriptive word today and hone in on that. We all need to focus on who we are and knowing thyself. So self-love, self-confidence, self-esteem, all right? And anything that causes you to be otherwise. So if you don't feel very strong in these areas and these attributes, it's a time for you to tap in and unblock that chakra, unblock your solar plexus, that 3rd chakra, in order for you to start to engage in activity that strengthens your core. All right, so perhaps if you're living a sedentary life, you have a weak core. If you have a weak core, more than likely your character traits are weak. All right, no pun intended, but at the same time, it's letting you know it's a time for you to really adhere to the messages, adhere to what is being you're being guided to all the time, because I'm sure this is not the first time. If you're a person living in a sedentary life, I'm sure you've been told you need to exercise, you need to get moving, you need to do something every day, you don't need to sit on the couch, blah blah blah, and you just know, even if it's just your inner voice. All right, so let's see what else. I'm going to take the card off the bottom of the deck, and the bottom of the deck is spiritual awakening. All right, this is the crown chakra. Look at all that light and effervescence, all those beams coming out the top of the crown. All right, somebody is tapping into that spiritual nature, their spiritual nature. All right, you want to know more. You want the guidance. You're seeking the guidance of the universe, of universal consciousness, the divine consciousness. This is your spiritual awakening. So it's letting you know that you are tapping into the God force and looking towards the ascended nature. You're looking towards the above, towards the higher self, to seek that growth and development. All right, so you are on your spiritual path. You have been awakened. You're not woke. You're awakened. There's a difference, all right? You may be aware of certain things, but now we're talking about true awareness. When you start to tap into the spiritual aspects of yourself, this is the true self. This is the true knowledge. This is the true way of discovering who you really are, for lack of a better way of saying that. They will come to me as we continue this reading, but let's see what else. We should get one more card. All right, and then the last chakra card is the throat chakra. Listening, okay? We need to be good listeners. When we listen, we learn a lot when we listen. All right, so being a good listener is a positive attribute of the throat chakra. So listening, and it really has this chakra here. This is the way a chakra moves. Well, let's move it this way, clockwise. Especially for the female or the woman, it's moving clockwise. For men, it's moving counterclockwise. All right, and that's the proper or healthy direction of movement for both the masculine and feminine. All right, so whoever you are, you should be tapping into the throat chakra. That is your fifth chakra. All right, and learning to listen more. Believe it or not, the throat chakra, another attribute, is the communication, right? It's the audio box. So you're listening to music. There's messages in music. So perhaps you're clairvoyant, that just came up, or clairaudient. All right. You need to listen to the sounds, the voices that you hear, your surroundings. And when you're being spoken to, listening with understanding. That is a positive attribute. Seeking understanding when you're listening, all right? So communication, the throat chakra. So those are the three. You have the solar plexus, the crown chakra, and also the throat chakra that you need to just be a little cognizant of. So I'm going to ring the bell for each of these chakras for you, just to help clear these areas so that you are open and receptive in the way of your solar plexus, in the way of your crown chakra, this is your seventh chakra. Continue to awaken your spiritual nature, your spiritual self. Being open and receptive to what Spirit has to say to you, your throat chakra. So listening. Listening for that still small voice. Listen to your gut. Listen to your solar plexus. Do not alienate yourself from Spirit. When we're not listening with understanding and adhering to the messages or the voices that are speaking to us, we alienate ourselves from spirit. So we don't want that. You never want to alienate yourself from spirit, from your God source. All right, so let's just go ahead and get some clarity on that. And Spirit just told me I need to do a numerology card for you guys. I did not do it for those of birth number 1, but I'm going to do it for birth number 2. So let's see what else will come out. I may use it right away. It may not be necessary, but I've been told to use the numerology deck. So we will go there instead. So right now, Spirit, we have on the table for those with birth number 2, born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, and the 29th of any month. All right. We have the solar plexus, the crown chakra, and the throat chakra on the table. And we're looking for messages to help guide those with birth number 2 in their daily activities for the month of April, directing them on the successful path or the compass that will direct them towards their success in all of their daily activities, affairs, and events as they devise a plan for prospering in their life through this ascension. I happen to be filming this or taping this on, we got 3, on the day of the full moon in March, which is March 28th. Self-love. Self-love is on the table. All right. So that power, remember, I was saying when we were talking about the solar plexus, anything, any word, any descriptive word that you put self in front of, or noun, you put the word self in front of, it lets you know that you're working on your personal power. You're working on your own personal power here. All right. So self-love is a big one. And this is a big battle cry for the universal consciousness, for the collective. Self-love is our battle cry because everyone is seeking to be loved, and most of us are seeking outside of ourselves. But those who are spiritually awake or awakening on their spiritual journey, they know self-love. They know that they know that they need to tap into taking care of their own energetic spiritual being, spiritual nature, their primal nature. So self-love is a big one. So please. And another, love. Love is a big theme for birth number 2. So not only loving on yourself, but loving others. So being love. All right. In your expression, it should always be coming from a place of love, of compassion, of kindness. All right. And so that's a reciprocal. All right. It's all about the reciprocation. Being receptive when somebody is being kind, compassionate, and loving towards you, and you also express that in return. All right. And then music, we just talked about that. Wow, this is very, very appropriate. We just talked about that. I think this kind of sums up your reading. I am going to pull some oracle, but let me continue with this music. So you guys must be clairaudient. So listening to really quality music, the lyrics of quality music, not that, some of this new, sure you've heard this before, some of the new musicians today, it's a lot of digital or analog music that has no substance. The lyrics are just kind of very demeaning. It could be, spell casting, all right? And we want to dispel any myths, and we want to dispel any of those words that disengage us or empowers us, right? We want to dispel that. So words have energy, right? Words are powerful. So be mindful of the music that you are absorbing and taking into your psyche, as well as in your environment. when you change up the type of music that you listen to, especially if you've been listening to things that are degrading, you'll see the difference in your life because you're changing the environment. When you change your environment, your cells, your whole molecular structure starts to change, right? You change yourself on a very deep cellular level. So music is going to be a big healer for you guys, a big part of healing your fifth chakra, your throat chakra. If there's any blockages there, if there's ever any clearing you need to do, music can do it for you. Music is the answer for you guys. So listening to quality music is great. Choosing specific artists, being very selective about the types of music and voices and that you allow into your space, all right? And that you tolerate. Don't just tolerate any music. If you're in a place where someone's playing or listening to music that just doesn't jive with you, either ask them to change the music, and again, it's all about love. You can have a conversation. You can ask a question and just strike up a conversation with you. Maybe you have something to say that could change somebody's life, or that can change the way they think about what they're listening to, what they're absorbing and allowing into their subconscious. All right. So, but if that doesn't change up your environment, if the person doesn't change that's around you, or if the environment doesn't change that's around you, you can change your own environment. So you are in control. You have authority over that. All right, so let's put those there. I won't belabor that point. You get the drift. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card for you guys. I think I would pull from the Enchanted Map. And that, again, is to point you in the direction, if you're not already headed in a direction on your life journey for the future, on something to think about as far as from Spirit. This is a message from Spirit. So Spirit is giving you a message to let you know the direction of your map, because we all have our own roadmap, our own blueprint. So this is to give you insight on the path that you're on, and a path of success, achievement, prosperity. That's all that I ask for you, is that you are happy on this path and that you are living your life's purpose, and or this message even piques your interest to even consider being on this path, because you're on this path with yourself. You're never alone. You have a human nature and you have a spiritual nature. That's duality. So you're never on this path alone. Although you as a human and you as an energetic being are connected to all other humans and spiritual beings on this planet. So you want to make sure that you are expressing yourself the way you want to be, the way people see you. You want to express yourself the way you want to be received or perceived by others, right? So being on purpose, when you're living your life on purpose, people notice something different about you, and they'll want the insight. They'll want the inside scoop. What are you doing? How did you do this, or how did you do that? All right, so nothing's coming out, so I'm just going to shuffle once more and then cut the deck. All right, so let's see what comes out. We'll cut first. Dry Desert, card number 31, which was reduces to 4. So I'm going to read that. I'm going to go to the book for that. But this is a dry desert is the card. Never pulled that one before. But the card, when the number 4 reduces, lets me know there's something about focus and stability, because that number is about stability in your life? All right, or the focus, what are you focusing on? So let's read. So dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. All right, here's your resilience, your personal power. You have the strength. You have the resilience, because strength is resilience. That's synonymous with personal power. All right, and to become adaptable. All right, listening is a positive attribute in the way of adapting to your environment. Okay, so let's continue. Is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until, after consistent effort, you reach the oasis you're searching for. So, perhaps some of you, I had mentioned that with the solar plexus is your strength, your core. If you're not exercising or practicing any sort of physical fitness, you need to make the effort. And not until you make that consistent effort do you reach the oasis you're searching for. So you are on a path of seeking. We have this spiritual awakening. We know that you're on a path. So some of you are on the path, and some of you are thinking about the path. Some of you you're ignoring the signs. You're not, following your intuition, that guidance that's being given to you. So there's 3 ways you can look at it, and you know who you are. So unless you make the effort, put in the effort and exert yourself, you will be constantly on this search and seeking for something outside of yourself that is totally so close to you and within. So now is the time, if you're listening to the message, is to really start and activate yourself and your life, your body, your physical vessel in the direction towards your path, to get on your path. So let me continue. Consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water is essential for life. It can be found deep underground. Go deep within yourself now. Find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is the most important time, the most important place to find what's truly right for you. So that's a metaphor, all right? If you're actually feel like nothing is happening, you're in a dry desert land, it is calling for you to go deep within yourself to find the answers. So your life could possibly be the concrete jungle. Some people call it the concrete jungle, and you live amongst deplorable, desolate situations. And these are just maybe scenarios. Nothing seems to be going right. There's no progress in your world. That's the desert. But when you go deep and when you seek deep within your own life, the answers are there. You have the power, you have the strength, but you have to exert the power. You have to exert yourself, your strength, and be determined and discipline yourself for success, to find those answers within, because nothing is outside of, you will not find the answers outside of yourself. You will always constantly be chasing something. When you look outside of yourself, you'll be chasing that one thing that's so fleeting and temporary. Anything that you find outside cannot sustain you. The only thing that can sustain you is the internal nature, your inherent power, your inherent nature, the God force that lives within you. So turn within and find the discipline, find the determination, muster it up, so you can be headed in the right direction. Follow the compass of the enchanted map that you possess within. And I'm going to leave that message right there for you. And then look forward to any impromptu messages that I may put up throughout the month. But nonetheless, I will come back with your birth number reading for the month of May as well. So I salute you and wish you all the best that life and that the universe has to offer you, because there's so much that's being offered to you, but it will not reveal itself to you until you exert yourself, muster up your personal power, love yourself and who you are, and love those who are around you who deserve love, and express love to them. Continue to awaken to who you truly are. Seek the wisdom from above, seek the wisdom from within first. As above, so below, so it is here. As within, so without, and it is there. It is with you always. And listen, go into solitude. A prayer, a meditation, a time of quiet is a time in which you can listen. When you're being spoken to, you quiet your mind, clear your mind of any other voices, and listen to what is being said, so that you seek understanding. And it perhaps may trigger something deep within that will help take you deeper into your journey, mentally, emotionally, physically. All right, so I wish you the best. I salute you. Namaste.